War Eagle Auburn family, welcome back to E2C Network Live. This is another post-game live stream where we are breaking down an Auburn Tigers sports event, talking about what happened, the score, and for this particular game, your Auburn Tigers men's basketball team take down the South Florida Bulls by the score of 67-59, going to 2-0 on the year. We're here to talk about it. We're here to break it down, talk about the storylines from the games, the stats, all that stuff, and obviously take some of your questions and your comments throughout the stream tonight. As you can see behind me, this is not my normal setup. Most of you know that I'm on the road in Auburn, and this is not even the mobile broadcast studio, in a different location. So as always, when I'm on the road, let me know if there's any audio quality or anything like that that's missing. Or any connectivity issues as we go throughout the stream tonight. Really excited to talk to you guys. Let me handle the boilerplate stuff at the very beginning. As you come into the stream, make sure you smash the like button. It's the biggest thing that you can do for us right now in unison. Smash that thing, fire it away right now. Also, use this as your check-in period to post where you're watching from in the comments, whether you're watching live or in the replay. City, state, international with the War Eagle, let me know you're here. And that is a great way for me to be able to see you, be able to say hello to you if I can keep up with the comments tonight, and also maybe take some more of your comments and questions throughout the night if I recognize who you are. It's the best way for me to see you is for you to comment along tonight. So that is the agenda for tonight. Just reacting to the game. I've got the stats in front of me. I've got some of the storylines that I wanted to talk about written out, but I also want to hear some of yours. And so with this setup tonight, it'll be a little bit harder for me to keep up with the comments and bring them up on screen, but I'll do my best to do so tonight. So really excited. Huge weekend. Getting it kicked off really well with equestrian winning, basketball now winning, the football center's open. All kinds of good stuff to talk about tonight. So let's see here. I'm also going to be very careful not to knock this stream too bad, because if I push too hard, we may have some problems. We got Matt Morgan checking in. Good to see you. Yeah, Dylan Cardwell and Wendell really showed up tonight. So for those, let me go ahead and address that, because I know that's probably going to come up at some point. Dylan Cardwell went off the floor at the very end there. That was the longest 2 minute left of a basketball game I've had in quite some time, because of an injury, because of other things, foul situation. It looked like Dylan was in pretty good spirits when he came off. Didn't seem to be grimacing all that much when they went over and looked at, I guess it was his ankle or something like that he had kind of tweaked. So I wouldn't worry too much about it right now. These type of injuries happen in basketball. I think the announcer even said maybe it's something he's done before. So just something to monitor, something to keep in mind, but I wouldn't worry too much about it right now. But great games from the two of them. I mean, there's a lot of great games all the way around, to be honest with you. Brian checking in from Minnesota. Good to see you. Oop, there we go. Blake, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you. Love to see you in the streams again now that it's basketball season. My two favorites, Flanagan and Green Jr., were on fire tonight. Yeah, listen, I want to walk through some of these guys' stats. I think you've got two players tonight that you can argue for being players of the game. We'll see what everybody thinks throughout the stream tonight. I also like that Dusty is talking about Chris Moore. Chris Moore, I think, is a guy that a lot of people are shocked that he's in the starting lineup, that he's seen a lot of time after last year. But this just goes to show you how much progress he has made as a member of this team individually, but in what he can contribute to this team. So that should really encourage you. It encourages me, because I love seeing guys that have paid their dues, get their time, and making the most of them. He's flying all over the floor. Since we're talking about him, let me just look at his stats real quick. We got Chris Moore with 7 points on the night. 3 for 3, so complete 100% from the field. Didn't take any 3-pointers. 1 for 2 from the free throw line. 5 rebounds, only 2 turnovers, only 1 personal foul, and that's only in 16 minutes of time. That's pretty efficient, to be honest with you. I mean, we don't expect Chris Moore to be one of the big scorers out there, but he's hustling out there. He made that great play early on, trying to save the ball and keep it in bounds. Gotta love a guy like Chris Moore. Officiating was abysmal. I'll be honest with you. I'm on the road, so I'm watching it as best as I can. I was watching the game, but managing a lot of different things, as you can probably tell. I didn't really get a sense that the officiating was bad probably until the end, because of how slow everything was slowed down. But I know that there was a lot of chippiness. I know that there was a lot of talking going on. And angst towards the refs as the night went on. Devin is always the one that keeps us up to date on the post-game tweet count. So we are sitting at 211 in 5 minutes, much better showing than last week. Well, listen, everybody gets, that first one to kind of warm up. That's what we kind of said, right? So keep us posted. 5 minutes, 200 replies. That's pretty good. I hope you guys saw ours we put out there. It's not on the final score tweet yet, but we just put it to them. Yeah, I agree. Much improved player. Good win against a good team. Those offensive rebounds they were getting have to clean that up. So when I look at this game tonight, I use this phrase a lot. Everybody uses this phrase a lot, right? A tale of two halves. When you have a tale of two halves, it's much easier to manage when you're at home, especially when home is Neville Arena, right? That crowd is incredible. I had an opportunity to be there tonight. I gave my tickets up to some people who deserved it, just because I owe it to them, and I know they enjoyed things. So I could have been there and experienced it, but there will be other opportunities. There's 30 games in a season, 20 of those are at home, so there'll be another opportunity to go experience it. Rusty pointing out that 3-point percentage has to get better still early in the season. Well, let's talk about that. And that was one of the points that I wrote down about shooting percentages, and that can go across the board. That can go to just your field goal shooting percentage, your 3-point shooting percentage, and then what am I about to harp on, folks? Those who've been here for a long time. Free throws. Free throws, free throws, free throws. I will excuse the poor field shooting if we just make our flipping free throws. All we heard on the broadcast was that they got into a free throw competition, could miss in warmups. I don't care what they can do in warmups. I want to know what they can do when it's game time. So let's look at all of these shooting. And that was one of the storylines I took away from this game. Is it too early to assume that this is not going to be a good shooting team? The answer is yes. If you're saying right now that we have another not good shooting team, it's a little too early to say that, but some of these numbers are not encouraging. So field goal percentage tonight, 40%. That's not bad. Close to 1 every 2 shots is going down. 3-point percentage is what Rusty pointed out, 20% on the night. Now, I believe that is like 3 points or 3 percentage points higher than last week. I don't have those numbers in front of me. I know that the free throw percentage is a little bit worse. Well, maybe it's a little bit worse, not by much. 63%. It is no shock. It is no mystery that shooting last season was not our strong point, especially distance shooting. We have a lot of those same individuals who are the shooters still here, so you would think you could carry that notion over that it's going to continue this year. You would hope in a year that things would get better. Kind of made that same inference about the offensive line. There we go again, talking about that. So it's still too early to hit the panic button on the shooting, folks. Just give it a minute. Let them work it out. It's going to take some time to get things fully rolling into the season. Great thing is they utilize their skills in a lot of other areas so that it doesn't become such a big thing. Yeah, I see that you're saying I didn't miss too much. Listen, losing or winning, being in Neville Arena is, especially in crowds like that, is amazing. Yeah, I would love to have been there tonight. Like I said, I wanted those individuals to get to experience the game, just to, because I owe it to them. So I'm glad they got to. Say it one more time about the free throws, please. Free throws, free throws, free throws will win and lose championships, not just games. Okay, so Auburn tonight wins by 8 points, right? It probably at times felt like it could be a little bit more than that. And that is the case because if Auburn does a few simple things, make you free throws and gives up a few more turnovers. This is a South Florida team that I don't think personally, and I thought I saw the Ken Palm ratings or the RPI ratings earlier, saying they were like in the 120 mark or something like that, which is not great. It's not good. It's not bad, but it's not great. And there's 300 something teams, so you want to be in the top half. So that is the top half. So you shouldn't be struggling, in theory, with a team like this as much. Now, South Florida gave us trouble last year, if you'll remember. That was at at a neutral site. Was it? I think it was neutral still, even though it was down in South Florida. Do not want to do that. Oh, I almost blocked Blake, and I did not mean to do that. See, this is the problem of doing the live stream on the road. I always get these mixed up here. Big Simp. And I know, guys, that I'm getting behind in chat, so I apologize. So we'll keep going forward. Keep your comments coming. Keep posting it, and I'll see it eventually. So, Alan Flanagan. We have been talking here on this channel about the story of Alan Flanagan, about the rise, and not necessarily the fall, but the injury and everything that kind of comes with it that makes you not play as great as you were. Being an NBA scout prospect, and then having to deal with not being the star anymore when you come back. All we've heard all season, off season, is Alan Flanagan is ready. Alan Flanagan, this is going to be his year. And that is pointing apparently in the right direction. Now, I forget his totals last game, but I think it was single digits. But he had a well-rounded game. I think when you look, there's a stat called plus minus, meaning that you have a positive impact on your team when you're on the floor. His was a positive, I believe. I don't have that one in front of me right now, but let's talk about the stats that he has tonight. He's your second leading scorer tonight. 18 points for Alan Flanagan. He's 6 for 10 from the field. A few of those were really high percentage shots, moving to the basket. Let me just talk about this. Hold on. I've talked to you guys about how basketball is a cerebral game, and it's like a chess match that if you understand that, if you're a player of the game, you kind of see things before they're happening. I saw that backdoor cut that Alan Flanagan was about to pull off before it happened. I said, if this pass comes to him, this man's going to throw this ball down, and he did. I love backdoor cuts, especially when they're done to perfection like that. So obviously, it goes to Wendell, I think, was it Dylan that gave him the pass? I can't remember who. But it was a beautiful backdoor cut. Love it for Alan Flanagan. 18 points for him. 3 for 6 from the three-point arc. 50%. Have we found the three-point shooter? 3 for 4 from free throw. He did get into a few personal foul troubles tonight. Almost fouled out. 4 rebounds, 1 assist. 25 minutes of play. That's off the bench. I want to talk about starting lineups here in a little bit, but yeah. I'm trying to see if I missed any other comments before we go. Apparently, Dusty got in a Twitter jail. Uh-oh. Don't be getting in Twitter jail now. All right. Before I dive into maybe some stats and things like that we haven't covered already, some other things. Sloppy play early on. We've already touched on it a little bit. If you do this on the road again, you're going to have a harder time digging yourself out of the hole that you created, especially at a neutral site, we saw that happen last year, especially on a away situation like in Arkansas. If you dig yourself a hole, you're going to have a harder time doing it on the road. At Neville, it's much easier. The crowd's going to be into it. It's packed out. Don't dig yourself a hole. Don't dig yourself a hole. A team's going to get up on you sometimes. They're going to have the lead for a little bit. But there was a point there where it was kind of getting a little, a little worrisome. Matt and Morgan says, Broom struggled tonight, right? Well, let's look at his stats. Look at his stats overall. Where is he in front of me? Janai Broom tonight, 3 total points, 0 for 6 from the field. It took 1 3-pointer, did not work out for him, and he got 3 free throws. So all his points come off of free throws, and he was only 3 for 7, 22 minutes of play. Yeah, I would call that struggling. Everybody is due for an off night. Granted, we've only had 2 games to really discuss off and on nights. I wouldn't worry about that so much, but let me say that. That sounds like I'm dismissing talking about that. It's a good point to bring up. What I am encouraged by is the response that we continue to be seen by when somebody at that particular position is struggling, the other person steps up. Look at Dylan Cardwell tonight coming off the bench. 7 points, not outstanding, but 100% from the field. 3 for 4 from the free throw line. Thank you. 2 rebounds tonight. Doesn't get into foul trouble. He does get a little bit injured at the end. So if you've got a guy at center, for instance, Janai Brim tonight struggling. Dylan Cardwell's kind of stepping it up, not in his place, but when he's having an off night. We're very deep, very, very deep basketball team. And he's also been dealing, I think, with a tweak of his knee or his ankle, which got hit again, ankle, I think it was, last game. I'm wondering if we've seen previously, like with Alan Flanagan, right, how an injury can mentally affect you and kind of get you a little bit off. Yeah. Dusty signing out. Good to have you here, buddy. Thanks for hanging out with us for a little bit. USF played like the Bulls tonight. I don't know if I agree with that. I will tell you this, to give credit where credit is due. Very impressed by their players, Bryant, Harris, and Hines. Harris had 7 points, so not as great, but Bryant had 10. Hines had 9. They were getting all over the place tonight. And some of that was because we were creating opportunities for them. But just want to give credit where credit is due. I wouldn't say they were playing like the Bulls, but they were playing well enough to win tonight. Cardwell shifted the energy for sure. That man loves being an Auburn Tiger. That man loves being in a crowd. And there's a part of that can be like a little bit overdone, a little bit arrogant. I've had very few interactions with Dylan Cardwell, just in passing. He was kind enough when I was at a practice to come over and introduce himself, but just to welcome me and shake my hand and stuff. He seems like a very genuine guy. So he seems like a good balance of that hype man type of thing, the personality, but also being a pretty genuine guy. He's definitely, him and KD, they're just the yin to each other's yang. When one's hype, the other one's kind of doing their other thing, and then the other one's hyped, and it's just kind of like a little rolling ball of hype, especially if the two of them are in there together. Dylan motioned for pass to come to him and then didn't catch it. I'm not exactly sure which one you're talking about. I will say this about KD tonight, and I can't say it's necessarily his fault or the teammates' fault that didn't come for him. There was at least twice tonight he's driving to the lane and wanted to dish the ball off to them. Maybe did a little bit awkwardly, a little bit too hot of a pass, and it created a turnover. What I like that KD Johnson is doing is that he's willing to give the ball up, and that you can tell that's been an emphasis probably for him with the coaching. Is like, look, yeah, we love you taking the ball to the basket. Look for your teammates, though. And so you can see that frustration in him probably. I'm giving the ball up. Why aren't you guys catching it? Sometimes you're not on the same page. If we get our shooting off early and then we bring it out and then we bring out our good defenders, it's very hard to stop the Tigers. Yeah, so that's going to be the big question all year. If Auburn can maintain what they've shown, good defense, very fast-paced play, not putting themselves in too bad of a hole to work out of. If the shooting is there, it's going to be tough for many teams to beat them. The losses are going to come. The question is to who and when will it happen. Westry, yeah, will be nice to see how he fits into the mold here when he gets back. I don't think I have an update on when he'll be back in here. Alan Flanagan coming along could be the best thing for this team. I agree. Tonight, he's the best three-point shooter. Only Wendell Green was 1 for 5. Trey Orr was 1 for 3. Jasper was 0 for 3. If Alan Flanagan can recapture that part of his game and continue to do the smart little things that he's doing very well, making good cuts, decisions, being there for his passers that want to get him the ball when he's moving around as a swing man, Alan Flanagan's going to be pretty special to watch. I don't think this is the only time you're going to see him step up at all. There were a few miscommunications. I see some of that discussion about that, like tonight, overall. Let's see. Let me kind of look through some of my other storylines tonight. This is a really funny note, not necessarily about the game, but I just wanted to point it out. It took me a minute. What is Bruce wearing tonight? It's Military Appreciation Weekend, essentially, because of Veterans Day. Great thing. But initially when I saw, I was like, what was the choice of coaches gear tonight and the warm-ups that the players that didn't play were playing? That just kind of threw me off there for a second. I wonder what Clint Richardson thinks of that. Question for the chat. Is this the same starting five? I forgot to go back and look before we went live here. Is it the same starting five from the first? So Zepp, Wendell, Chris Moore, Janai, and Jalen Williams. Is that the same starting five? Can anybody answer that? Obviously, that was the starting five for this game, but I'm talking about last game. If it was, my question then is to you, what do you think about this starting five? Thoughts, opinions? Got off to a great start in the first game. Obviously struggled. I don't think it was necessarily on the starting five. Yep, same five. We got confirmation now. What do you guys think about that starting five? Do you like it? Do you not? 2 games maybe is a little too quick to make any definitive decisions about it, but just something that I'm trying to kind of track throughout, because Bruce has talked a lot about mixing and matching. I wonder if he will chalk this one up to just one game where we got all off to a bad start shooting offensively, or will he switch things up the next game? Chance Westry is obviously going to mix things up when he gets into the mix. But what do you think? Thoughts from you guys? Zepp and Chance Westry, even though he's not playing right now, the steals are going to be crazy. Yeah, he may eventually start. He might, but it's not definitive right now. Yeah, Jackson, if you can, we talked about this a little bit earlier, but if we can continue to play defense like this, let me look at the stats here. 11 steals tonight. South Florida also had 10. 11 steals, 7 blocks tonight. What else? Defensive rebounds, 26. We win that margin. We lost in the offensive rebound category, and we lost the total rebounds. So when I haven't done it yet, but things that you're going to hear me harp on, free throws, but there are 3 categories that I look at. You need to win 2 of the 3 in my book to win the football game, the basketball game. But you need to really win all 3, but you need to at least win 2 of those. Well, that would be the rebounding margins, the free throw percentage, and really that's more a matter of just getting as close to 80% as possible and winning the turnover battle. Tonight, turnovers, 20. We lost that one. Rebounds, we lost that one. We did win the free throw battle because they only did 52%. That just shows you the importance of free throws. So that doesn't always hold true, but those are the 3 areas that I really look for in a basketball game if they're going to have a higher chance of winning. All right, scooting ahead a little bit. I think we'll see different sets of starters all season. I was honestly not shocked, but a little bit intrigued that he didn't mix it up in this game. I'm trying to get inside Bruce's head without actually being there to ask him questions. Was there a thought to change it up tonight, or did he see something that he liked in the last game and wanted to just try it again? I don't know. Well, nobody's going to be a Jabari. I don't know. Jabari was pretty good defense-wise. Yeah, rebounds were definitely not the best tonight. Offensive is really where they made some headway, a differential of 5 there. So overall, you end up losing the rebound battle by 2, 43-41. Can't have that happen a whole lot. The good thing is it was very negligible, meaning very close to each other. All right, keep the comments and questions coming. No set timeline on this stream tonight, but we want to make sure that we kind of use our time wisely and not just kind of yammer on about other things. All right, we talked about that. I'm going through my checklist of storylines I wanted to talk about. How about Wendell Green Jr.? How about that man? Throwing passes behind his back without even looking. The great coming across the baseline there, reverse layup in traffic, sort of thing, being unafraid, knocking down a very far back 3-pointer. The kid has been up for the Bob Cousy watch list, which is the best point guard. Tonight was, to me, his first statement of, I'm going to be in contention for that. It was a very good night for him. 20 points, Not a great three-point shooting night. He was 9 for 11 from free throw. Can't really ask for much more there, except for making the other two. Assists were 4, rebounds 4, 27 minutes of play. Wendell Green Jr. I'd love to give the game ball, the MVP, to Alan Flanagan because I love that guy so much. The only one I love more is Jalen Williams. Jalen Williams just does Jalen Williams things, and that means that he doesn't get seen a lot, but he makes his team better. Jalen Williams will be a big reason why this team is successful, but you get very little of the praise, and that's the sad thing, but that's also a good teammate right there. Love you, Jalen Williams. But Wendell Green is clearly the best player on the floor tonight. And we talked a little bit about Alan Flanagan being bad. So I've hit the majority of my storylines that I want to hit tonight. Doesn't mean we're ending right now, but if there's something that we haven't touched on yet that you'd like to discuss further, please do let me know. We've got a few more stat things to go through and kind of talk through some of those points. Yes, Wendell tonight said, "Not today, South Florida. Not today. We ain't doing this again." It was still close, but a lot less stressful last week. I was talking on social media to the Jungle Podcast. They have a longer name, but they said just call them the Jungle Podcast. Matt Donaldson. And he, because I don't know the other guy yet, I sent him a response to one of his social media things talking about, because he had said something, South Florida gave us a run for our money last year. What they do this year. And I said, I can't deal with that heart attack. And he sent me one back later and said, "Here we go." So, did you know that KD lost 20 pounds? I recall that being discussed earlier this year. In fact, that's why apparently Bruce Pearl said he couldn't have his social media back until he lost some weight. I didn't realize it was 20 pounds. I haven't really looked at him, but I guess now that I'm thinking about it, I could see a little bit more lightness to him. That's interesting. I didn't really think he needed to lose some weight. Maybe for the type of player that Bruce wants him to be. Devin says, 28 minutes and only 200. We have failed. See, this is why it makes it hard now to do those meme videos that I like to do every year. So again, if you guys haven't been paying attention, if you are been here with the channel, you saw last year we did like the full big videos for the memes. We're doing them in a shorts format now, so they appear on the YouTube channel, but just in the shorts format, like a minute, as opposed to me just stretching it out much longer for you to last through it. So I'll have that hopefully up. There's so much content this week, folks. So much content this week. I'm already tired. And, yeah. All right, we're not going away just yet, so hang tight. But let me go ahead and give you guys some of the boilerplate stuff that we like to give towards the end of each show. And then there's a few more stats and questions that I want to go through with you guys as you post them right now. All right, so tomorrow, Tiger Walk live stream. It'll be right on time. Coach Harsin isn't here anymore, and he had our Tiger Walk happening on the dot, if not earlier, every single time. So I don't know how Coach Cadillac's going to run it. Just be ready. It should be right on time. Join us. Please join us on YouTube for that. There will be a post-game live stream late tomorrow night as well. It's going to be an incredible atmosphere. Super excited about that. What else can you expect from this channel? I got video from the media tour today at the Football Performance Center that I'm going to be putting out. My hope is tonight I can get that up and rendered for you guys, so it'll be ready, if not in the morning, sometime tomorrow, and plenty of other content. Just follow us on social media. Check the links in the description for ways you can help support our content, all that good stuff. I don't have my normal setup, so I can't bring the little icons up. If you're not subscribed here on YouTube, be subscribed. You're going to miss out on a chance to be entered into a signed Auburn football. You don't want to miss that. Yes, smash the like button if you haven't. So the interesting thing now is last year I was one of the only ones doing post-game live streams. Apparently everyone discovered how successful they were and is now doing them. So everybody's doing them. So some of our audience is over there. Some of our audience is over there. It's just weird to see how drastically the YouTube space has grown for Auburn stuff over the last couple of years, months, really. The memes will crank up in conference play. I sure hope so, because That was what she just reported to us was pitiful. What's our home win streak? Stand by. Stand by. Let's see if I can get it pulled back up here. No, I'm not going to be able to find it in time. I did have a sheet from the athletic department that had some of those type stats, but I've already moved on from it. I deleted it because don't need it now for this game. I'm sure that information was in there. When's the last time we lost at home? Doesn't happen often because they never win in the Nev. Yeah, excited for tomorrow. Really excited for tomorrow. Tonight made 26, but I may have misunderstood. Yeah, I don't know. You guys are going to have better. I appreciate that, Devin. I appreciate that. It's 20. Okay. Either way, a lot of home wins in a row, right? A lot of home wins in a row. Let me look through the stats here one more time to make sure we didn't hit some of these high points that we wanted to talk. We talked about Wendell. I talked a little bit about my boy, Jalen Williams. Even though he doesn't have the best stat line tonight, he does Jalen Williams things, which is good team basketball things. Janai Broom struggle. We talked about Chris Moore. Zep, yeah, scoring tonight was not great. Katie, I didn't realize Katie was actually 0 on the night. I bet he is upset with himself overall. Trey Donaldson looked good at times tonight. Yuan seemed to have kind of a hot and cold streak there as well. And we talked about Flanagan and Dylan Cardwell. And looking at the final stats here, bench points, 18 points for South Florida, 34 for us. That just shows you how strong our bench is, guys. So the great thing that you can take away from 2 games is that not only are we deep, but the depth can produce as well. We've seen several times in not too recent history, in too distant past, I should say, where Auburn got outplayed because the bench didn't produce comparatively. Like the opponent's bench outproduced ours by significant amounts. Tonight, that's the difference here. So despite the turnovers, despite the poor shooting at times, despite the sloppy play, especially how we start off getting in a hole, this team showed you that against a team like South Florida, who should not be dismissed, they got up on us for a while. You got some things to clean up. Oops, sorry about that. See, this is what I was worried about. It took me all through string to knock it around and finally did it. I hope we rotate 11 players the whole season. So right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Chance Westry will be 11. So the struggle is going to be, what do you do with Babatunde, who's waiting to get some time? What do you do with Lior Berman, who's waiting to get some time? I hate to see them continue to not, especially Lior. I think Lior's got a special place on this team. I hope he does. Just hasn't played a whole lot. He's also been in the past overcoming some injuries and things like that. So all in all, 2-0, folks. 59-67, your Auburn Tigers win. Super excited about what I've seen so far, despite some of the shooting struggles, which we probably all anticipated. Again, big day tomorrow on campus. Stay tuned on social media. Stay tuned here on YouTube. You guys are the best little family within the Auburn family. I appreciate you all so, so much. And thanks for being here, choosing us for your Auburn content. Those of you watching live, those of you watching on the replay, we really do appreciate it because it means the world to us when you've got 1,000 other choices that you could take. I'm going to try my sign-off thing here with you guys. Talk to you later. War Eagle.